Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Call of the Night Season 2 episode number 12 reaction, and this is the final episode of this season. So the previous episode, we got to see what happened with Ko. After that, Ko became a vampire temporarily because of heightened emotions when he was going to die. And which healed him automatically and he went back to being a human. So it's kind of like that. And which is something that I kind of thought that might happen, because when you're almost at the brink of dying, a moment will come when your emotions are at the height. And since he already did kind of like Nazuna, that got heightened, so he started feeling love for Nazuna, which healed him automatically. And then so anyways, everything is good now. We had a good conversation with Anko after that, and like Nazuna as well. And things are looking okay now. Like, Anko has decided to move on, just cut her hair, new beginning for her. And so that's where we are at. So let's see what happens today. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Damn, even she got. Oh yeah, she got drunk. I forgot about that. This. Wait, this is her place or something? Oh no, this is Nazuna's place. Okay. Well, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. What? Oh yeah, this is Nazuna's place. Right. I couldn't recognize the room because it had a different, uh, you know, a different theme to it. Hmm. Oh my god. He's sitting. Oh. Okay. You drank so much that you're. Yeah? You're telling fairy tales? Oh, he's talking about himself. Hmm. Bruh. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Extension. I don't think so. She was always like, hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah. I I think she's asleep. Yeah. Oh no, she's not asleep. Damn. Hmm. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Yeah, and that's why she said like I needed failure is important as well. Damn. You know, it makes sense so much why she always tried to tell Go that because she thought like Go's also going to be wasting his life and will be facing the same thing that she's facing now. Because Go is young and he still hasn't gone through the youth that I'll talk about in the discussion section. Damn. Mm, sure. Wow, that's an interesting point of view. No. Yeah. Hmm. Well, oh my God, here? Yeah, we're here to chill, not to work. Right. What? Oh boy. Wait, is that love? I was gonna say, it's love, right? Sitting there? Bruh. Oh, wow. When you're talking to yourself? What's going on here? He asked a question and answered it on his own. Oh. Hmm. Hello? Alright. This guy is something else. True. If you're not like that, you wouldn't work here. Hmm. Oh, this. What is that? Oh, her glasses. 80th anniversary champagne. Wow. Hmm. Well, Right. Okay. Okay. Wow. Oh, he hasn't come here? Oh yeah, she said that she doesn't want to bring him here. Yeah. Classy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, true. That's true. Oh my god. Really? I guess. She always kept an eye on Nazuna, so you know. Like a thief. Yeah. Bruh. Yeah. Oh my god. No thanks. What? Hmm. Damn, she drank all the bottles? Well, hmm. Yeah. You know, because vampires don't exist then. Yeah, I doubt she's going to hunt vampires anymore after this. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm pretty sure it's Kiku, but she's pretty close. True, because you know, she was hunting for. Yeah. Second. What? Yeah. No. The way it's just like a backpack. Emotional growth. Right. Well, that was a plane. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Yep. So basically, hmm. Mm. Oh, hey, no. Oh God. No, she's not gonna smoke. Because she started it because her dad used to smoke. Yeah. Oh. No, that's it. Oh wow, they're ending it with the first ending. Oh boy. The, the subtitles. Oh my god. Okay. And there you go. That's it. I think that's it. There's no other. Yeah. All right. And that was the final episode of this season, episode number 12. Okay. First things first, let me check if there has been any announcement. I doubt that. But still, call of the night. I doubt there has been any announcement this quick, but Uh, no, no announcement. So yeah, hopefully we get one, because this show is definitely one of my favorites. And season 2 was so much better than season 1. Like season 1 was amazing. I love, obviously I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, like a lot of people didn't really enjoy season 1 that much. I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, it's, just like a very like slice of lifey type of show, which is true. And the same people said, I remember, I know, like the same people said that season 2 they really liked it because of the, like the whole development. But I like season 1. Like I like slice of life shows. This was a very good mixture, a good blend of slice of life, vampire, like a suspense type of like thing. Season 1 was obviously heavy on the slice of life aspect, but it was very good and very beautiful. Season 2 obviously is better in my opinion, because obviously it has its slice of life moments and it has a very good arc, like for like character arc for Nazuna and Anko, both of them. Nazuna gets a proper like explanation, a proper backstory. We get to know what happened with her and everything. Her, Haru, Kabura, all those things. And then we got a proper like good arc for the detective, Anko as well. We get to know her backstory and her reason and for doing all of this and all that stuff. Yeah, it was perfect. I think this season was definitely one of the best. So yeah. So overall, this season is definitely. I think I'll probably give this season like a 9 out of 10. Because yeah, I really liked it that much. I feel like out of all the shows that I'm reacting to, this is definitely my favorite. Yeah. Let me think. What else shows? To Be Hero X is pretty good, but I would put this above because I don't know. Like I always get, what can I say? Like these type of like suspense, like like mystery type of show where you have to like think about what's going on, and it has like this type of a like a thing where you're continuously every single episode you're trying to figure out what's going on, is something that I really enjoy. And like the whole section where they kind of showed Nazuna's backstory and Haru, Kabura, that part was really good. I really enjoyed every single episode trying to think like what's going on and what's happening. Then obviously the whole situation like with Nazuna and Meijiro, their backstory, their past. The opening did kind of spoil, which I've always said did kind of spoil Meijiro and Nazuna's connection, and I was automatically like, oh yeah, these two knows each other, But other than that, like everything else was pretty damn good. It was, I don't know, it was right up my alley. This season was right up my alley. It really had everything that I could have wanted from this show. I do hope it continues like this, and I do hope we get a season 3. If not, I'll just read the manga, but I'll wait for a while. Let me see if there gets any kind of announcement or not. If not, I'll just read the manga, because like, but yeah, we already got a season 2, so the hopes of getting a season 3 is a little bit higher, because like most shows that stop usually stops at season 1. So like they just do season 1 and just stop. Fact that we got season 2 makes me hopeful that there will be a season 3. Because just think about it. Season 1 was pretty good, but I'm 100% sure season 2's reception was way better than season 1. So if season 1 can get greenlit for a season 2, after season 2, which definitely was a lot more better and probably had a better reception than season 1, surely we'll get season 3 greenlit as well, right? I just hope for that. But anyways, this episode was a good conclusion to this season. We continue with obviously like Kyoko, Kyoko, right? Kyoko Meijiro, or I'm just gonna call her Anko. We get to know. We continue with Anko's whole thing where she was drunk obviously, so she is taken back to Nazuna's place, and this is where Anko kind of says that, oh, like, please don't go, like at least one of you stay. Now obviously Ko was like, yeah, like let Nazuna stay, because obviously Nazuna has a connection with she knows her for quite a while. It's been a long amount of time that Anko hasn't spoken to Nazuna, so Ko probably thought that she has a lot of things to talk about with her and all that. Like all those things he kind of thought. That's why he said like, yeah, let me go. But Anko was like, no, you stay. Now, obviously, this kind of shows that she's still not 100% over the whole vampire thing, because obviously she knows, like she's like she has given up everything, like all, like like things for revenge, like all of those things that she was thinking, that I'm going to destroy vampires and all that, all of those is gone. She was also kind of trying to take her own life by making Nazuna kill her, so that is also gone. So all of those things are gone, and she has gotten over the fact, she realized that, yeah, you know what, let's stop. Just decided that. But still, it's not that easy to just switch in and switch, like off your brain like that. Like these 10 years that she has been spending to, like take out vampires, and like having, getting this plan and doing all of these things, going on her revenge path, all these 10 years, you think it's not easy to just forget all about that in like a matter of a few days or something. That is impossible. So she still probably feels a little bit uncomfortable, even though she knows she should not feel that. And it's with Nazuna, uncomfortable with Nazuna, or not only Nazuna but vampires in general. But she knows that it is something that she shouldn't feel, because obviously Nazuna is not at fault here. And as she said in today's episode, she herself said that I know that it's not the vampire's fault. A lot of the fault left, was there with my dad as well. Like I know that, but I needed someone to victimize. Like, oh no, sorry, I needed someone to put the blame on, and otherwise I couldn't, like I couldn't keep continuing. So she decided to put the blame on vampires and decided to live her life like that from that point onwards. So she knows that, it wasn't logical. Obviously, like, yeah, a certain vampire definitely destroyed their house and, like destroyed their family, but as she said, her father is equally responsible for that. So she knows all of that, but she still can, like, and she lived her life like that up until now. So obviously, she, if left alone with Nazuna, she would definitely not be comfortable at all. Like, the guilt, the fact that she has been trying to do all of this, like trying to use Nazuna to take her own life, the fact that she did like Nazuna before, the fact that she was not able to properly fall in love, you know also the fact that, like, the Nazuna is a vampire and the vampires destroy her family, all these positive, negative, like, things all together, it's going to make her even more miserable. And she's already hungover, her head is already pounding. So that is why I'm assuming she said that, oh no, go stay here, you go and bring, like, whatever. So that is why she said that she refused to make Nazuna, wait there, because she knew that she's still not ready. I'm sure she'll be able to continue interact with Nazuna properly in the future, but it's not now. At least give her a few days, maybe a few months, not even days. Give her a few months. Little by little, she'll definitely be able to, like, jump back up and, become, like, be able to properly, like, do everything again, and little by little get over and start a new life. And then surely she'll be able to speak to Nazuna properly, and, so yeah, and that is why she said that, oh, go, you stay here. And yeah, now a few other things to talk about. Like I said, this is one thing I was going to discuss while that episode was happening, but then I stopped because obviously, like, I wouldn't be able to talk about it properly, so now I'm going to talk about it. So, that part where you can see, like you can pretty much, you can clearly see that, it seemed like in the previous episode that Meijiro, Anko was able to bounce back up pretty well. She cut her hair, she has gotten, like, she's like, this is my new beginning and all that. But this episode, after getting drunk, you can see very much that she is not okay, and, like, not only these things, the fact that, like, as she says, that all these years, for 10 years, I know, like, what I was doing was, obviously, she knew that it was just a way of, like, just putting the blame on vampires and trying to wipe them out. And it was her coping mechanism, to the way he she like, she had to do that to keep surviving herself. And like, she has been doing this for 10 years. And now now that she has accepted that, yeah, you know what, I should have stopped. Now she's getting like thoughts in her head, where she is realizing that she lost all those 10 years for nothing. Like, she literally, it was for nothing. Here we go. I'm going to read this part. This part is very good, I have to say. Like, the whole conversation here is very well, like, done. So she gets up and she says, getting older doesn't necessarily mean you grow up. And the successes and failures I imagine most people experience on their road to adulthood, um, I'm pretty sure I never got to have any of those. So yeah, as she says, like, I literally, I was running, like, in a path where I had to get away from everything normal. That is, people, like, the youth that she lost, the amount of time that she has lost. She's 28 now. She has been doing this for 10 years. She's been doing this from 18 years old. So from 18 to 28, the all these things that she was doing, this period of time is a vital time for, obviously, experiencing youth. So as she says, like, what do normal people do in this amount in this time? They graduate, they, hang out with friends, they start looking for jobs. In some jobs, they might, like, like, succeed, some they might fail, interviews and all that. So success, failure, and then they start a job, probably start thinking about making a family, having a family. All these things, you know is how, like, normal people, that's how it normally goes. And she's saying here that all these success, failures, everything that is part of the life, I never got to experience any of those because I've been just walking on this path. You know, yeah. All right. Be it about people, there you go, work, corporate culture, friends, or love, there you go. I want a taste of that failure because, she never got. Success, failure is all a part of, growing up, as she says. And this part, then she kind of lays down. Okay, not this part. Here we go. My family was destroyed by a vampire. My father wasn't blameless either. I knew that in my head, but I needed an enemy to give myself a reason to live. Right? But now the need is gone. So I decided to try and live life an ordinary human being. So yeah, she has been running on this path, this revenge path, this whole, like, like, thing. And while you're doing that, you you're not thinking about anything else. You're just doing that. And now that she's saying that, now that I've decided to stop, I'm realizing all these years that I've been spending doing that, it was for nothing. What did I just lost my life? All, like, this time. I won't be able to get this time back at all. And that's why she's saying all these success, failures people experience in that period of time. I was never able to experience any of that. So, right. And here we go. She says, Yamikun, do you know how hard it is to live an ordinary life? Yeah, especially for her, because she's never gotten to know what is ordinary. When my mind wanders aimlessly, it always circles back to how unhappy I am. What am I even doing? What was the point of the past decade? Did I just waste all that time for nothing? Yeah. I was wondering why they showed in the beginning of today's episode, like, that disclaimer for depression. Like, like, and yeah. Here we go. This is why. Like this part is like, what she says here, like, like just that, that section where she says like, I just sit down and I think, and like, my mind always just wanders back, and I think like, what have I been doing? Like, what's that part? She said it immediately. A minute. Yeah, when my mind wanders aimlessly, it always circles back to how unhappy I am. What am I even doing? What was the point of the past decade? Did I waste all that time? Yeah. So these, like, thoughts and everything, that's why they kind of in the end gave that disclaimer. Um, yeah, this is how it feels when you think about, when you think that all the things that you've done is just for nothing, and you sit down and continuously, like, it just keeps happening. You just think about it, it comes back in your head, keeps going around. You continuously think like, oh yeah, this is just for nothing. What have I been doing? Why am I, like, what was all this for? All these years, all these like wasted time and everything just comes back again. It just keeps just, like, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And yep, that's depression basically. um right. So yeah, that's what now she has stopped. This is what's happening, and this is what it is. You've always seen, like, multiple animes. One thing which is very much of a common theme is revenge, in anime. Like, literally, like, every most shows have this theme. Like, one of the obviously the one of the most biggest and the, like, one of the most popular show, Naruto. The whole, like, one of the biggest themes in that is revenge. And about how when you are going through that path, when you're walking the path of revenge, nothing comes to your head other than that. And then when you stop, when you either reach your goal or you lose your goal, either of it happens, you stop and look at the world and think about what you have been doing up until now. And now that you've done whatever has happened, whatever conclusion you got to is revenge, now that it has concluded, you are lost. You have lost all that time for this. So anything normal that you should have had now, you don't have it. So now you're clueless as to what you're supposed to do. So that is like one of the most common things, and this is basically what it is. As she says, up until now she was just in the flow. She was like, I'm going to, like, do this, I'm going to destroy vampires, this and that. She's been researching, she's been keeping tabs, and all that stuff. Things that other people do, like, normal stuff. She has not experienced any of it, failure, success, none of it. She was just focusing on this for 10 years. And now that she has decided to move on from that, she's like, what am I supposed to move on to? I have nothing. I literally have nothing. What am I supposed to move on to? So that, and that's why she's crying here, because she's like, what have I done? Like, up until now, I just don't. And that is why later on, Ko kind of tells Nazuna that I want to find out who this person is, this vampire, because if we don't do that, like, Anko's 10 years will actually be lost. But if you're able to find her, the vampire, at least we will be able to like, show her that, yeah, your time has not been wasted. We finally found this person. Yeah, it's pretty obvious it's Kiku. I'm like 90% sure it's Kiku, the vampire who destroyed her life, her family. But yeah, let's just wait and see, I guess. It'll probably be revealed eventually. But yeah. Now, this doesn't end here. I love how this whole section, like, you can see Anko lamenting about how she was not able to experience normal life, as she was saying. And yeah, like, I was kind of thinking about it and everything. Then later on, I'm going to skip this part. I'm going to go to that part where Nazuna and Ko was there with the other vampires, and where Ko kind of talks to Nazuna about this. Oh no, it happens way later after that. Sorry, even after that. I think when they leave, after they leave, yeah, they leave and they were on that rooftop, where they where Ko kind of talks about it, says what happened with, like, like after Nazuna left, what conversation he had with Anko. And this is the time where you can see where Nazuna says that, oh, yeah, but is she really that normal? And not only her, you, all the other characters that we've met in this show, all the vampires and everyone, she says, like, all of you guys, are you guys really normal? Like, and who says that you have to be normal? you know so now, this is like, you can see there's like a whole twist here, which is true, if you think about it. Like, Anko has been talking about how she has not been able to experience normal life, like all these things. But then at the same time, it's, at the end of the day, like, as like Nazuna says, that there's no hard and fast rule that you have to walk the normal path and experience everything normal. you know like, so it's not the end of the world. Like, yeah, she lost a good amount of her time, but at the same time, like, it's not that because she has lost that amount of time in her life that it's all over. Her whole life is gone, it's destroyed, everything is over. That is what Nazuma was trying to say here, I feel like, in that in ending part, in the in the ending section. So, which is such an interesting way, because up until now we've been thinking about it from like Anko's perspective. Like, I was also thinking that, yeah, she's actually, like, all these like thoughts and all these things that she was having is very valid, and like, it makes sense so much. And then immediately the whole thing gets turned around when, with just one word, as Nazuna said, that, yeah, but I understand, but you guys aren't normal. None of you are. And being normal isn't like, it's not really like a rule that you have to be normal. So this isn't the end of the world. Like, because you have lost this amount of time, it doesn't mean your whole life is destroyed. You can, you can bounce back. It's never too late to, like, to experience life, I guess you could say. And she lost 10 years. That's nothing compared to the average lifespan a human has. Like, not nothing, I wouldn't say it's nothing, it's like, quite a good chunk of time, but still, you know so, yeah. And then I was like, yeah, she's not wrong either, like, Nazuna's not wrong either. Like, true. Like, it's not that, like, she can start over, as we've been saying, she can start over. She can do all the things that she has not been able to do now, all these success, failures, everything that she was not able to experience, she surely, like, will be able to experience it now. Like, there's no age for these things. Like, you know so, yeah. Anyways, another thing I want to talk about, this was what I was trying to say mid episode, but I stopped, which is, this also kind of makes so much sense, how the reason why Anko all the time tried to stop Ko from going in this direction. I feel like this was another one of the big reasons. Obviously, like, she didn't want Ko to follow in her footsteps and everything, all that stuff, but at the same time, this was another one of the reasons, I feel like, which is, she, because she got involved with vampires and all that, she, as she says, she lost her youth because of that. She couldn't, experience, I mean, like, some twist and turn of fate made her go in this revenge path, this whole thing. And she, seeing that how Ko is literally of this, almost of the same age as she was when she met Nazuna, she saw she saw herself in Ko. And because she's suffering now, and she is realizing, the pain that she didn't want Ko to go through that. And that is why, from the very first season, every single moment that Ko and Anko came face to face, every single time, without question, she told Ko to back out. Every single time. She even came outside the, like, the school to warn Ko and give him like a last warning and be like, oh, back out, like, don't go in this direction, don't become a vampire, don't, like, yeah. Even in that letter, she wrote that, like, you have your whole life. She literally wrote this particular line: you have your whole life ahead of you. like, forget about this, do not look for me, and like, something like that she wrote. So it's pretty obvious, like, like, she was thinking that if something goes wrong, Ko will probably walk the same path as she has walked, and yeah, he will experience the same pain and everything, like, that she has, and she didn't want him to go through the same thing, right? um yeah. And yeah, there you go. That was this episode. That was really good. Like I said, I really love this section. This whole section was very well put. And also, oh my god, her voice actress Miyuki Sawashiro's voice acting is so damn good. Like, I don't think I've ever heard her, like, voice acting while in an emotional scene, like while crying. Like, I've heard like, Miyuki Sawashiro's voice acting I've heard a lot, but I think this is the first time I'm actually hearing her voice act someone crying. It is absolutely brilliant. Even in the previous episode when she broke down, you know, like, it is crazy how good her voice acting is. Like, you go back to that part in today's episode only. You go back to that part where she was talking to Ko, and when she was, like, breaking down. That was heartbreaking, that section. And that voice acting makes it so much more emotional, like, brilliant, like, like, absolutely god tier voice acting, good god. Right. Okay, and then other than that, we had, like, like, and then, Anko went to sleep and all that, and like I said, Ko decided to find out who the vampire is who destroyed, like, her family and all that, so that to give her a reason, and, like, kind of, you know so that's what I guess our new goal is going to be. I was thinking which direction is this going, because if Anko's out of the picture, then who are we going to be, like, fighting against, or what are we going to be doing? What will be our new goal? So this is will be our new goal, and obviously Kiku is definitely going to get involved later on, because I'm goddamn sure it's her. Who else is it? You think, who the hell is it that made destroyed, like, her family? It's Kiku. Who else will it be? You remember Kiku's track record? Like 50 or something. She just sucks people, makes them vampire, and just, I don't know what she does. She just goes on her way. And like I said, I still haven't been able to figure out why she does that. But my best guess would be, because of emotion. Emotional changes makes the blood taste different. We know that, and that is why she waits up until the particular person falls in love with her, and then she, like, sucks their blood to get that taste or something. I don't know, maybe something like that. And then, whatever, man. Like, and then just, that's why she has so many people. That's why she's waiting for Mahiru to properly fall in love with her, and then she's going to bite. And obviously, if you fall in love with her, you are going to become a vampire, because that's one of the main, like, reasons why you become a vampire. You have to fall in love with the other person who bit you. So that's why she has so many people she has made into offsprings. Anyways, this is just a theory. I'm not sure if this is the reason or whatever is reason, but I'm goddamn sure it's Kiku. That I'm like 90% sure. The reasoning, however, I'm not 100% sure. I'm like 50%. I think maybe it's something like that. I might be completely wrong or completely off the mark. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, we'll get to that later, I guess. So yeah, that's our new goal now. We also got a little section where Nazuna and, like, Ko went to Midori's maid cafe. We met LG over there, and, like, this is where we can see, like, Ko asking a question to Nazuna as to why, no, not Nazuna, sorry, LG, right? She was asking, yeah, like, why do people do this, like, like job and everything. What is the prerequisite, like, thing? And LG says it's probably because, oh no, not LG, sorry, Midori says, sorry, yeah, it's because, like, we want to love and be loved, or something like that, she says. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, that's what, people want. Like, they want affection, and that is why they come here. Otherwise, why the hell would you come to a maid cafe? like like yeah, like what, why? Because of that, because like everyone here is like like that, and they get like momentary affection, even though if it's like they know that it is like a business thing, still they yearn for that affection, and that's why. um okay, and then we had that whole little party thing, uh, with the drinks and everything. And Kabura comes in later. They talk about like a lot of things, and they are talking about what each of them and their offspring and all that. We had Midori saying like, I don't want to bring LG here. Like Akun is already here. Ko is not a vampire, but he's here still. All those conversation happens. Kabura then also mentions how she was the first one who got to know about Ko, because she was keeping an eye on Nazuna, and Nazuna started hanging out with Ko. That's why she got to know. It wasn't Seri, it was her who got to know Ko first. She just didn't really reveal it. So yeah, all those things. And then in the end, you can see like when they were kind of teasing Nazuna, and they were like, oh, like like, why don't you kiss him here? She's like, oh no, not here. Like, and they were pretty surprised because they realized, as they said later on, that if this was the previous old Nazuna, she would have gotten angry, and she would have like like fallen for that like provocation and probably kissed him forcefully and all that. But she's now a lot more emotionally mature, and which Kabura says later on, that she's more emotionally mature. And obviously this is a huge deal for everyone, because just think about it. Nazuna is someone who is still in the process of learning to how to become a proper, like like a human. She's not a human, but like proper maturity, she's not really gotten it. Emotional maturity, she learns by observing, by interacting with people. We've seen that Anko was the first person, Meijiro was the first person where she got to know her initial values from. The initial values that makes up Nazuna comes from Meijiro, by interacting with her. And Meijiro said that in that episode as well. Like, the more and more I interact with her, the more she feels like she's becoming a human. So here you can see, after, as we get to see, after interaction with Ko and like and all that, she's gotten a lot more emotionally calmer and mature. So that's why she didn't fall for that provocation. And yeah, and then you can see Kyoko, Meijiro wakes up, Anko wakes up, and she's like, oh, come back, I'm all alone here. And then you can see later on, she goes outside, and she's going to like take a smoke, but then she stops. Because if you remember, like she started smoking because of her father. Because she like emulated her father. She took the glasses, she started smoking. I don't know if she actually likes smoking herself now, or if she still does it because of that. If she still does it because of her father, she'll probably stop smoking. If not, if she actually like likes smoking now or something, she'll probably continue. But for today, at least, she has decided not to do it. Maybe it was like a way of them showing us that, yeah, again, it was her way of showing us that she's trying to start a new like life, not just continue on with that. Yeah, and then later on, Nazuna in the end goes out with Ko into the sky. Ko kind of says a few things to Nazuna. Nazuna gets like, I think Ko says something like, oh, I want to stay with you, or something like that. And Nazuna gets embarrassed, almost drops Ko, and then grabs him again. Saves him somehow. And then in the end, she bites him, because obviously she didn't want to do that in front of them. Yeah, and there you go. That was the end of season 2. Fantastic episode. Like I said, it was a good way to conclude it. Hopefully we get a season 3, and I hope this anime continues. Yeah, so that is it. That was my reaction to the final episode of Call of the Night season 2, episode number 12. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next in the next video. Whatever anime will replace this, I'll see you guys on that show. So until then, goodbye and have a nice day.